First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and the ourselves great millstone, while unto his truth. And also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom, and come back here today with another great powerful lesson to the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So the type of the lesson is Watchman Report, Florida paid to stay. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners. Learn. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by Yahoo News. And it reads that paid to stay, Florida inmates charged for prison cell long after incarceration. Said it's called paid to stay. Said charging inmates for their prison stay like a hotel they were forced to book. Florida law says that cost $50 a day is based on the person's sentence, even if they are released early, paying for a cell they no longer occupy, and regardless of their ability to pay. Said not only can the state bill an inmate the $50 a day even after they are released, Florida can also impose a new bill on the next occupant of that bed, potentially allowing the state to double, triple, or quadruple charge for the same bed. Critics call it unconstitutional. Shelby Hoffman calls it a hole with no ladders to climb out. So we see it right here. This is very wicked. Also, this is what you call an unrighteous decree that they have prescribed or authorized. So we seeing these things are done behind closed door. We seeing these things are right in front of our face. Want to charge you for a stand in prison. If you commit a crime, you're going to pay for. Also, you're gonna do the time. Also, they're gonna take this $50 a day. This is what the earth is giving into the hands of the wicked, but only for a short season. So we seeing that these things are constantly happening left and right. Even if you're not in the same, you're not in that bed, it's still going to charge. It said triple or quadruple. So we already know that this man is out of his mind. And one thing about it, his reign of terror is almost over. So we seeing that these things gonna constantly happen, these unrighteous creeds that they have described. They want to constantly, persecute the poor, which in fact is the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indian, the people of color. And one thing about it, the one that is downtrodden, the one that the low income, if you do a crime, you go steal a loaf of bread and get 100 years, and then now all of a sudden now it's just ridiculous. But one thing about it, these things are getting ready to come to an end. So we seeing these things are constantly happening. This is ridiculous. But let's get a quick precept before we start today's video. Let's go here to Isaiah. No, let's go here to Micah. Let's go here to Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Let's start here. It said, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." Who hands? Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is ridiculous. Like you staying at a hotel or something like that, and they're going to charge you $50 a day. I think it's in another county somewhere. I don't know if it's in Alabama or it might be in Baltimore, somewhere, but there's at $35 a day. But one thing about it, we seeing that these unrighteous decrees are constantly, they constantly bringing all these different laws, these different mandates, these executive orders. We already know what all this is leading to, what total control. So one thing about it is that we already knowing that this devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. So let's read this in the NLT. It says Micah chapter 2 and verse 1 in the NLT, the blue letter. It says, "So what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, said thinking up evil plans, who rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so." So right now, so we're in that short season right now. We know that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked for only for a short season. So we're in that short season right now. So we're gonna see all sorts of unrighteous decree, all sorts of executive orders, all sorts of mandates and different things that they're constantly putting in place left and right. Because we already know what they get ready to bring, and this total control, which in fact this new world order. We already know they putting it in place right before our eyes. And one thing about it is we already know that a lot of things are constantly happening behind the scene. And one thing about it, we're not ignorant of Satan's device, his agenda, his evil plan. He's constantly devising these mischief upon mischief. So we seeing it left and right. We seeing all of this evil is constantly working, but only for a short season. The Lord is getting ready to return. We constantly warning left and right and set all these things back into order. So we see this is ridiculous. So I have one quick video, and after the video we'll start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
Oh my God, have you heard this story?
Story tonight involves a common saying: you do the crime, you do the time.
But when people are released from prison, it marks the start of new hardships impacting local families and communities.
And new tonight, I-Team investigator Kylie McGivern digs into a Florida law many don't even know about. It's called pay to stay, charging inmates like Shelby Hoffman for their prison sentence, even if they're released early and regardless of their ability to pay.
I work 12-hour shifts, so they're 7 to 7.
Hoffman is part of TGH Crystal River's clinical staff.
The healthcare field has always been, of great interest to me.
She's worked to get to where she's at, but once more, she's on track to earn her bachelor's degree this year.
My desirable goal is to work in case management. As somebody who is in recovery, doing case management is my way of being a part of the solution. And now, where I'm at today, I am truly being stopped by one single barrier, and it is a $sign.
The state of Florida had what is called an exemption from disqualification, and they told me that you are not eligible because you owe over $127,000 for an incarceration fee from the state of Florida.
What was your reaction?
I cried. I was hysterically crying. I literally felt like my entire past just punched me in the face. So when I was 13, my parents split up. So it caused, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of misdirection in the household. So I found a boyfriend that unfortunately got me hooked on opiates, snorting them, smoking them, and then eventually, I started shooting them.
And this was all while you were a teenager?
Yes.
After turning 18, Hoffman was charged with a third-degree felony.
I had pawned something that, was stolen.
Then a burglary charge.
Both of those charges are drug influenced. Ever since, 10 years ago, I've never caught another charge. I told him, I said, listen, Your Honor, you keep putting me on the streets, I'm going to die. I need help.
Hoffman was sentenced to the Phoenix house for a year, but did not complete the program.
The director kicked me out.
Because of that, the judge sentenced Hoffman to 7 years in prison. She served 10 months, the judge allowing her to participate in a youth offender boot camp.
I had paid everything off. I petitioned the courts to get off of probation. He clapped for me and said, you above anybody deserve this. Congratulations, Miss Hoffman. I've taken pictures with him, given him a hug, and he wrote me a handwritten Christmas card telling me he knew I could do it. I finally felt like, the book was closed. Your redemption is complete.
Within 3 years, when applying for that exemption to work in case management, her dream job, Hoffman found out that she, like thousands of others, still owes the state $50 a day for the 7 years of her original sentence, $127,750.
You charged me for a cell that I didn't occupy? I felt so tricked and so fooled. There is no ladder with them that will ever truly allow you to be a second chance anything. There isn't. And they make sure of it.
Hoffman's grandmother, Linda, helped pay off what she said was thousands of dollars in other fines and fees.
We thought everything was taken care of. I must not understand it right. I've probably got this wrong, but no, I didn't.
Hoffman hired an attorney in an attempt to modify her incarceration costs to the 10 months she served. The judge denied the motion, pointing to state law. A court may not modify a legal sentence imposed by it more than 60 days after the imposition, and incarceration costs are based upon the length of the sentence imposed by the court at the time of sentencing.
You are imposing something that I can't pay off in a lifetime. So I'm stuck.
How is this possible?
We think it's unconstitutional.
Lisa Foster, co-executive director of the Fines and Fees Justice Center based in Washington, D.C.,
Florida charges a lot of fines and fees
says it violates the excessive fines clause.
because it's not proportionate either to the underlying offense or to a person's financial circumstances. In Shelby's case, what happens is she's saddled with over $120,000 of debt to the state of Florida that is a life sentence.
I have a family now. I have a daughter, a wonderful husband. I have a home. I have all of these accomplishments that I have worked so hard to maintain. And to not be given the opportunity to have a realistic, reasonable, obtainable goal to rectify all of that, that is why this is important.
Since 2019, Illinois and New Hampshire have repealed their pay-to-stay laws for state prisons. Here in Florida last session, the Fines and Fees Justice Center worked with lawmakers on a bill that would have allowed judges to do an ability to pay assessment when imposing fines and fees. It failed. Photojournalist Randy Wright and my team investigator Kylie McGivern taking action for you.
So you seeing that he's showing no mercy. He constantly, this is ridiculous. This lady on 100 and something thousand. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This red devil got to go. He's showing no mercy. So no mercy will not be shown to him. What was done to us is getting ready to be done to him. So let's start the day lesson. Don't mean to be rambling. Let's start the day lesson off in Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. A quick lesson through the Spirit. And it reads, it said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that they write grievousness which they have prescribed. So one thing about it, so we seeing that this bill that they have down in Florida, which in fact a decree going to a law. So we seeing that they bringing forth all this type of these different unrighteous laws, these different bills that they're constantly putting in place. Constantly, they want what? Total control. And one thing about it, we already know they constantly what? Persecuting the poor. We seeing it every day. So woe go into what? Destruction. So we seeing it happening left and right. The prescribed going to what? Authorized. So you already seeing right now what? Pay to stay, man. This is, I'm saying this. I just came across this article and I decided to do a lesson on through the Spirit, man. I'm telling you, man, this man, he got to go. This red devil got to go. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 2, it said, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the rights from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and they may rob the fatherless. That's exactly what they're doing, left and right. And they constantly taking advantage. They constantly depriving. They constantly, oppressing, every day, and we seeing it left and right, but one thing about it, when you go to Lamentation chapter 4, I think around verse 21 and 22, that, say, go ahead and rejoice, ye daughter of Edom. Ye too shall drink of that cup of what? Oppression, that cup of what? Of slavery, infamement, all sorts of unrighteous decree. It's getting ready, the tables are getting ready to turn very soon. So we seen that young lady, after she got out, she still owed a bill from just going to jail. And man, I'm telling you, man, this is ridiculous. So let's go here. But what the power is in his hand. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked only for a short season. So let's go here to Psalm chapter 94. Psalm chapter 94. Psalm chapter 94, and we'll start up at verse 20. Psalm chapter 94 and verse 20. One moment. And it reads, it says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by a law. So that's what he's doing each and every day, framing mischief with a law, mischief behind mischief, constantly devising his wicked plan, his mindset, his agenda, you know what I'm saying? We seeing it left and right, his evil schemes, but only for a short season. Hey, we seeing it's happening right before all these prophecies are constantly popping off the pages. So we don't ever know. He can call a lockdown. He can say that I need to take you to this facility. I got to put you under arrest because of this or because of that. We coming upon these times. Verse 21 said, they gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. So that's what they're doing each and every day, constantly condemning you, constantly oppressing you, with all sorts of unrighteous decrees, all sorts of mischief, all sorts of constantly framing all sorts of different laws, constantly keeping you down, constantly keeping you docile, keeping you always in a bad light. But one thing about the Lord is shedding light on all this wickedness and all this darkness. And also he's getting ready to make what Esau barren and bare. Because we already know that, he has not showed us any mercy, and we will not show him any mercy. And also we know that slavery is coming back in a big way. So the Lord said, I will repay. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So judgment is coming at a fast pace. That's why we're constantly rejoicing. We know we almost at the end of this thing. So let's go here to James. Let's go here to James chapter 2. James chapter 2 and verse 13. Let's go here. We get one more and we close out. Let's go here to James. I think that's in the New Testament. James chapter 2 and verse 13. One moment. Let's see here. Let's go here. It says, for he shall have judgment without mercy that has showed no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. So one thing about it, we seeing right now, he's not showing any type of mercy. This lady, she went through a few problems, in her life or whatever like that, and she tried to get rehabilitated. And what did the judge do? Instead of her, she didn't. I don't think she finished that year that she had to do. Then he turned around and gave her 7 years. I think she served, about 10 months or maybe close to a year. But anyway, she had to pay to stay. $50 a day. And then when she did not pay the tab, they still charged her with this 100 and something thousand. I think it's constantly running up interest also on it. So you already know that this is ridiculous. So let's read this again in the NLT. James chapter 2 and verse 13 said, there will be no mercy for those who have not shown mercy to others. But if you have been merciful, the Almighty will be merciful when he judges you, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So that's plain and simple. So we seeing right now, this man is not showing any type of mercy. He's constantly robbing and stealing and killing. Constantly robbing the poor. Constantly locking you away in these prisons. And one thing about it, we're getting ready to put those chains back on him. And one thing about it, we cannot wait. The Lord is a master chess player. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Isaiah chapter 42. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. We'll close that here. And it reads, said, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared, are trapped in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivers, for a spoil, and none shall restore. So we seeing that right now. People that is robbed and spoiled, that is what Israel, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians, who we always been robbed and spoiled, constantly innocent blood has been shed, our land has been taken away from all sorts, our rights have been taken away. We have been unjustly incarcerated, for long periods of time, and right to this day, we are just set up for the prey. And who is that prey? Constantly that is preying on that predator, which in fact is what Esau, Edom, also these heathen nations. When you go to Psalm chapter 82, this is ridiculous. Let's read this again. In the KJV said, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. We seeing that every day. You know, we got like, especially right here in Louisiana, this state, Louisiana State Penitentiary, which in fact is Angola. You know, they have the highest incarceration incarceration rate. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they locking up a lot of Israelites to this day. You know, it's ridiculous, man. Give you 100 years for stealing a loaf of bread and so on. You know what I'm saying? Unrighteous decree that they have prescribed. So they are for a prey and none deliver, for a spoil and none shall restore. But one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to restore. The Lord is getting ready to lift us out of this dark cloud, out of this deep despair. The Lord's getting ready to restore. The Lord's getting ready to put us back in our first estate. The Lord's getting ready to give us immortality, rulership, spiritual power. The Lord's getting ready to give us what? Power over our enemies right before their eyes, man. We cannot wait. Let's read it in the NLT before we close out. Said, but his own people have been robbed and plundered, enslaved, imprisoned, and trapped. They are fair game for anyone, and have no one to protect them, no one to take them back home. But one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to take us back home. The Lord will protect us. The Lord will provide for us. The Lord will sustain us in these times of trouble. The Lord is getting ready to come to deliver us with great glory and great power. The Lord is getting ready to open up the prison houses through the spirit and the power of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushua, the Lord is getting ready to come to deliver us in the land of our captivity. You know, the place, you know what, where we have been robbed and spoiled, that we have been for a prey. But one thing about it, the Lord said, wait on me until I rise up against the prey. So the Lord is getting ready to judge this place. The one that did not show mercy, no mercy shall be shown to him also. So one thing about it, that, you know, judgment is getting ready to befall all these evil works. You know, all this mischief and all this devised wickedness and all this unrighteous decrees, Salaki, you know, getting a little tongue tied. But one thing about it, so we seeing that, you know, this Florida law paid to stay, you know, this is ridiculous. But one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to show up. The Lord is getting ready to set the record straight. And one thing about it, that we know that we're almost at the end of this thing. That's why we got to constantly persevere. We got to constantly, you know, keep the faith. You know, we are prisoners of hope, but the Lord's getting ready to come to deliver us with great glory and great power. And also we knowing that our salvation is at the door. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Watchman Report, Florida paid to stay. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.